The Brahma Spectrum sci-fi novel by O.M. Jonathan. In this thrilling action-filled drama, FBI agent Joe Smith and his partner, Jennifer Parker, race against the clock to stop the looming disaster before it spirals out of control. But how can you fight against someone who has control over the entire human soul? How can you resist someone who can change your mind or steal your body with a press of a button? Joe will need to figure it out, because right now, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. A researcher has discovered that the human soul is actually a high-frequency waveform, having a universal existence, much like the light wave, gravitational waves, or radio and electromagnetic waves. These waves are the parts of the band of waves called the Brahma spectrum. These waveforms are immortal, imperishable, and pervading throughout the universe. He's learned how to pinpoint each human's individual, unique soul, corresponding to one unique frequency within the spectrum, and also how to alter it. This technological breakthrough explains stories of reincarnation, past life memories, near-death experiences, telepathy, twin studies, psychic links, even the core beliefs of many major religions. Unfortunately, his research has been stolen by a pair of men who will stop at nothing to seize what they want: control of the United States of America. There are many names for the soul. Some call it the higher self or the spiritual self. Others may refer to it as the ether, or simply the conscience, or the subconscious mind of a person that lives on once they pass on from this life. These are all correct definitions in their own way. But for the first time, this researcher has discovered much more than that. He's discovered the Brahma spectrum. The Brahma spectrum, at its core, is a band of waveform like light, or gravitational waves, or radio waves, or other electromagnetic waves that we've discovered over the centuries. The only difference is that their frequencies are extremely large. Imagine the highest frequency you can envision, then multiply that by 1,000,000, and again by another 1,000,000, and so on. This is the frequency the soul represents. Just to give you an idea, this marks the discovery of a lifetime, published in a scientific journal. The technological breakthrough explains stories of reincarnation, past life memories, near-death experiences, telepathy, twin studies, psychic links, even the core beliefs of many major religions. Unfortunately, this discovery comes at a price, because some people who stole the technology want to use that waveform to control it, and along with it, the lives and bodies of the humans associated with that soul. How do you stop an enemy who controls your very being? This question and many more are answered within these pages, as we follow our brave heroes in a race against a pair of villains who will stop at nothing to seize power. Find out more about the Brahma spectrum, how it works, how it's used against our brave heroes, as you venture into a world poised on the brink of disaster. Venture into the world of the Brahma spectrum. Written by O.M. Jonathan. The sci-fi novel covers various topics that explain reincarnation, past life memories, near-death experiences, telepathy, twin studies. Never has anyone explained all these phenomena so vividly. If each living being is assigned to one waveform that exists the band of the Brahma spectrum, how many living beings can it support? The range has truly infinite unique frequencies within the spectrum, so nature never runs out of them. Every living being, right from single-celled organisms to all plants and to all the advanced beings like humans, have a corresponding unique frequency, each within the Brahma spectrum, and infinite more frequencies to spare. And when you think you have found two adjacent frequencies, and then you look deeper, you will find infinite more frequencies between the two, and so on. Of course, like anything in nature, these are recycled. So when a person dies, another person may be born with the same Brahma frequency. These two people are basically the same, because this is the rebirth in action. We may envision it as a soul leaving one person who dies and entering the next birth when reborn. In addition to the thermal, electrical, and mechanical energies that the body gets from the metabolism, the body also receives subtle energy from the Brahma spectrum. This energy is critical for the sustenance of the body and mind. Your body has life as long as this energy flows through it. The flow of this subtle energy is mostly one way, but there are occasions when this information can flow from the body to the waveform as noise and reside there. This process is called backfeeding. The generally pristine waveform is now slightly skewed because of this noise, and it stays skewed for a long time until it is compensated by noise that has the opposite effect. When the conscious or subconscious information from the previous life remains on the Brahma frequency waveform as energy or noise, that information may be available after rebirth. This is how some people, when they are reborn, remember events from their previous life. Perhaps the bad conscious from our bad deeds backfeeds to our Brahma frequency, skews the waveform one way and resides there until it is compensated by the good conscious from the good deeds. This stays across rebirths if not compensated. So technically, is this how the karma works? If you can tap into the Brahma frequency of another person, it may result in the energy and information transfer between two waveforms. But unlike resonance, this energy transfer may be minuscule, but enough to wiretap into what the other person is thinking. Here what we are seeing is the telepathy in action. Twins tend to have their Brahma frequency close to each other, so information that is part of the thinking process or one's conscience may be freely transferred between the two. This results in, say, one of the twins feeling the pain when the other is hurt. Such occurrences are well documented. The Brahma frequencies exist throughout the universe. So if you take your soul, which is represented by, say, a certain unique frequency assigned to you, this frequency is all-pervading and existence is eternal. Now, because this waveform is also all-pervading, it extends continuously without any gaps to all galaxies that may be millions of light years away. If you wish to eavesdrop on one of these remote galaxies, the information that you transmit from there does not need millions of years to travel back to your brain, but it happens instantly using a process that is similar to, but more advanced than what we call as EPR paradox. It describes only after a lot more research. Joe immediately Googled what's EPR paradox and speed of light, read a few lines and rested his head on the table. Using this stolen research paper, the bad guys were able to swap their Brahma spectrum with the President of the United States of America, with the hope that they could control the entire country and the world. Were they successful in doing it? Find out more in the Brahma Spectrum. Enjoy reading the extraordinary novel The Brahma Spectrum by O.M. Jonathan. It is quite an experience. Available at Amazon.com in both Kindle and paperback versions.